This will be an exciting weekend in sports with the NBA, NHL, and French Open finals, but much of the attention tomorrow will be on the 147th running of the Belmont Stakes. That's where American Pharoah will be trying to become the first Triple Crown winner in 37 years since the horse named Affirm did it back in 1978. This is American Pharoah working out just this morning after arriving here in New York on Tuesday aboard a private jet his owner calls Air Horse One. He's the odds-on favorite tomorrow. He has already won 6 of the 7 races he's run, including the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, and he's earned $3.7 million in purses. Well, joining me live from Belmont Park, New York Daily News sports writer Jerry Bossert, who covers horse rating and racing. And Jerry, with a welcome to you. Only a mile and a half, the distance in the Belmont stands between American Pharoah and Immortality. There's a very elite group of horses, as you know, just 11 who've won the Triple Crown. Did you watch the workout this morning? And if so, how'd he look?
Yeah, I was there this morning, and he looks like a machine. He's the Michael Jordan of horse racing. He's got a lean body, muscular everywhere. I mean, it's what you want in a racehorse.
I guess so. Okay, so Affirm became the last Triple Crown winner back in 1978. Since then, 13 horses have won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and then failed in the Belmont. And that includes California Chrome just last year. What do you think it is about American Pharoah that could succeed where all those other horses failed?
Well, I think the one thing he has going for him is that he was the 2-year-old champion last year, American Pharoah. A lot of the horses that failed in the last 13 attempts, they were like horses who got hot this year, you know, and they got hot at the right time, but then they burnt out in the Belmont Stakes. I think American Pharoah, being the 2-year-old champ, proved he was the best of the crop last year, and it's the same horses that he's facing now this year. And I think he is the champ of the still right now, obviously with a win in the Derby and the Preakness. I think that's really something he's got going for him. And a lot of the prior Triple Crown winners, you know, back in the 70s, they were 2-year-old champions too. And I think it's something that a lot of the previous horses didn't have it, and I think American Pharoah does, and I think it's what's going to be a key reason.
Now, have you heard that American Pharoah really likes sloppy tracks? When you look at the margin by which he won the Preakness, I mean, it was huge. And if so, with good weather tomorrow, that might not be in his favor.
I mean, he did love the slop at Baltimore that day when he won by 7 lengths, and he also won the Arkansas Derby in the slop. But he has won on fast tracks too, including the Kentucky Derby, where he won by a length that day. And he's a very good horse on a fast track. If it's a wet track somehow, if it rains tomorrow, I think it moves him up even a million more lengths. He could swim in the mud, this horse, but he's a fast horse on a fast track, and believe me, the fast track's not going to slow him down.
Yeah. So American Pharoah's going to be running at a number 5 post position tomorrow against 7 other horses. What other ones might we be talking about if at the end of the day it's not American Pharoah?
There's a horse on the outside. Name is number 8, Materiality. He won the Florida Derby earlier this year. He had a very bad trip in the Kentucky Derby. Missed the break, and he still got up to be 6th. He's a very talented horse. He won his first 3 starts, and then the Derby fiasco. So I give him a look. I also give Frosted a look. Frosted won the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct earlier this year, and he got up to be 4th in the Derby. He was one of the few horses to actually make a move. I don't know if you saw the Kentucky Derby, but the top 3 horses basically stayed all the way around. And this horse rallied from far out of it to get up to be 4th. I think he could be a factor, and the trainer has won this race already. And Keen Ice is another horse who could be coming at the end. I think he's a horse that wants to go the 1.5 miles. Yeah,
you talk about being a fast course and a fast horse here. Secretariat, of course, the great horse who won the Triple Crown in '73, still holds all the time records for the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont. Any chance that could be broken by American Pharoah tomorrow?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a world record Secretariat's 1.5 mile time. You know, you have to be an exceptional horse to do that. And to be honest, although he's won both the Derby and the Preakness, American Pharoah's times have been kind of on the slow side, you know, but the Preakness he really can't. It was running such a quagmire, a monsoon that day. But, you know, he still got the job done. He won both races, and that's what you need to do.
It's going to be exciting. Jerry Bossert from the New York Daily News, thanks so much for weighing in. Appreciate it.